In a dimly lit alley, the demon queen Alina finds herself vexed as she cannot recall ever allowing the trading of slaves within her country. Her thoughts are interrupted when she notices a young boy sitting nearby. Surprised to see a human, she comments that he is a rare sight. Sometime later, Alina sits upon her throne, lamenting her boredom. She complains to her attendant that she has tried every form of entertainment available, yet the country remains disappointingly peaceful, even with the recent slave trade uproar. Alina asks her attendant, Haru, if there is anything left that she has not yet done. After a moment of thought, Haru suggests that she could get married. When she asks with whom, he cheerfully points to himself, proposing that she marry him. Alina is left momentarily speechless by his proposal. She becomes completely flustered by his suggestion. She tells him not to joke about such things. Haru continues with surprising sincerity, adding that he would like to have about 8 children with her. While Alina remains unconvinced, Haru calmly explains that he believes their relationship is already at that stage. He recalls the day she found him, confessing that he has only had eyes for her ever since. He tells her that she taught him everything and became his entire world. He concludes that it is not a stretch to say they are already dating. Alina wonders what Haru could possibly be thinking. She had always seen him as just an excellent servant. She questions if she might have taught him something incorrectly. His over-the-top devotion makes her realize his claim might not be as far-fetched as it sounds. The maid Maybelle observes the situation with a smile. Another maid remarks that Haru is an incredibly blunt idiot who cannot read the mood, a sentiment with which Alina agrees. Maybelle reminisces about how young Haru was when Alina brought him home, noting how quickly humans grow. Blushing, Alina concedes that he has indeed become a good man. Maybelle pointedly asks if Alina likes Haru. Alina flusters and vehemently denies it. She claims it would be problematic since she has known him since he was a child. However, she then shyly admits the age gap is a bit worrying, which Maybelle takes as confirmation of her feelings. Maybelle muses that Haru's proposal is not much of a shock. His feelings have been obvious for a long time. In fact, she finds it more shocking that the two of them are not already dating. After Maybelle excuses herself, Haru closes in on Alina. He insists that he is serious. He passionately declares his love for her, adding that there is no falsehood in his words. His intense confession leaves Alina stunned and flustered, telling him he does not need to be so explicit. Maybelle reappears, suggesting they should just get married immediately, and Haru agrees. Alina protests, saying they cannot get married so suddenly. Flustered, she insists that as a true maiden, they should start by dating first. Haru is shocked to learn that she did not already consider them to be dating, realizing they were not on the same page. Haru quickly agrees to start dating. Alina tries to raise objections, citing their master-servant relationship and different races. Despite her words, she seems quite happy about the development. Maybelle observes them, thinking they act like a dumb couple as Haru suggests eating parfaits together for their first date. As they begin their new relationship, Haru continues to care for Alina just as he always has. Alina comes to the startling realization that their life as a couple is exactly the same as it was before. Alina notes that things are more normal than she expected. Just then, Haru surprises her with a hug from behind. He tells her how happy he is that they are a couple now, allowing for such affectionate gestures. He asks to stay like this for a while, leaving her flustered in his embrace. Alone, Alina reflects that being a couple is not so bad. Her mind wanders to the future, imagining getting married. She even thinks about having the 8 children Haru mentioned. As she daydreams, she concludes that the idea might not be so bad after all. The full implication of having kids suddenly hits Alina, sending her into a panic. She thrashes about in her bed, completely flustered at the thought of her and Haru. Her frantic moment is cut short when Haru appears in her room, asking what she is doing. Alina quickly tries to deny that she was thinking about having children. She berates herself for having such immoral thoughts. Haru simply asks what is wrong. With a knowing smile, he confirms that she has been exposed. Embarrassed, Alina tells Haru to forget it, but he playfully teases her not to be shy. He tells her that he loves her honesty. She argues that both parties need to consent. Haru smoothly replies that since they are a couple now, there should not be a problem. As Haru moves closer, Alina yelps in surprise. In a flustered outburst, she declares that they should put all the marriage talk aside for the time being. Haru is shocked by her sudden declaration. Later, Haru finds a pouting Alina and nervously asks if she is still angry. She denies it, and he admits his actions were his fault. He then casually asks if she found out that he licked her face while she was sleeping, which prompts a shocked outburst from Alina. The maids watch the unfolding chaos, with Mabel declaring she does not understand anything anymore. Alina is left blushing furiously. The other maid remarks that at least they will not have to worry about an heir. Walking away, Alina calls Haru an idiot. She tells herself that their marriage was never going to work. She reflects on their different statuses and races. She resolves that they should just continue being together as they always have been. Haru catches up to Alina and apologizes sincerely. He explains that her reaction was so cute he could not help himself. He promises he will not do anything she dislikes again. His words seem to touch her, and she looks at him quietly. Thinking he has made her truly angry, Haru continues to apologize. To his utter surprise, Alina suddenly turns and embraces him tightly. Alina simply holds him, feeling his warmth. Confused by her sudden affection, Haru wonders what is going on. Alina explains that this is her revenge. She tells him not to do such stupid things again, so that he will understand her feelings. She knows that the warmth of his body and the sound of his voice might one day fade. So for now, she wants to cherish the moment. She quietly asks Haru to hold her hand, leaving him to conclude that she must be in her Dera period. Haru stands hesitantly outside Alina's room, holding a pillow. Alina opens her door to find him there. He asks what is wrong, noting how late it is. She shyly admits that she cannot sleep by herself. Alina pulls a surprised Haru into her bed for a comforting embrace. She tells him it is no surprise that he is scared and cannot sleep, being the only human. She promises that no matter what happens, she will protect him. They wish each other a good night. Alina is awake in bed. Haru sleeps peacefully beside her. She recalls how she used to embrace him when he was a child, but now he is the one holding her. She admits to herself that her choice of words might have sounded misleading. Alina watches Haru sleep, thinking that he looks very happy. She questions whether they should be sleeping together. She gets flustered, wondering what would happen if he tried something. As Haru wakes up looking confused, a flustered Alina wishes him good morning. Alina sits at her desk, lost in thought. Haru approaches, asking his master if something is the matter. Alina asks Haru if he gets shy sleeping with her now that he is older. He gives a bright and resounding no, which seems to surprise her. When Haru asks what she means, Alina insists on knowing if it bothers him. Blushing, she points out that he is a guy and asks if he feels strange. He plays dumb, asking what she means by strange, making her even more flustered. Haru's expression changes as he realizes what she is implying, and he eagerly asks for more details. Haru frankly admits that he gets really excited. His honest confession leaves Alina speechless and blushing. He elaborates that she smells good, her breathing arouses him, and he finds it cute when she calls his name in her sleep. As he comments on her pretty sleeping face, a flustered Alina tells him to be quiet. Huddled in her chair, Alina regrets ever asking. A maid reassures her that since Haru is a boy, his feelings are natural, and the fact he has not acted on them says a lot. Alina seems easily swayed by this logic. The maid then asks why Alina herself was fine with the arrangement up to this point. Alina explains that a part of her still thinks of Haru as a kid. Having lived for so long, it feels like only yesterday he was a child, so his maturation feels weird. The maid remarks that since Alina has been taking care of him for so long, he must be very important to her. Alina bashfully admits that he is the apple of her eye. The maid understands, while Alina adds that he now gets angry when treated like a child. Alina remembers that he used to be much more shy and obedient. Another maid joins in, recalling how he would get chased by griffins until he cried. Haru is horrified to hear them discussing his past, while Alina asks them to continue. Alina announces that they should stop sleeping together from now on. Haru is shocked and demands to know why, but she insists it is not good for them. She confronts him, saying he gets aroused by her and might pounce on her. A flustered Haru admits it is true but still wants to sleep with her, wishing she would at least deny it. Alina sighs that his honesty is a double-edged sword, and Haru agrees she is right. She tells him that if he understands, he should go to his own room. He immediately refuses. He clings to her, making embarrassing declarations that horrify Alina. Alina tells him to stop, but he refuses. He dives under the covers, vowing not to move an inch until she lets him stay. She pleads with him, reminding him that he is not a kid anymore. Haru retorts that she still treats him like one regardless. Haru asks if she does not need him anymore now that he is an adult. Alina reassures him that she likes him, feels at ease with him, and wants to be with him forever. Clutching the sheets, Haru begins to confess his true feelings. He admits that he is the one who really cannot sleep alone. He explains that every time he closes his eyes, painful memories come rushing back. He tells her she is right and that as an adult, he should not be acting this way. He apologizes sincerely. In response, Alina surprises him by pulling him into a hug. Haru is shocked by her sudden action. She tells him that if that was the case, he should have told her sooner and not suffered in silence. She says there is no way she does not need him. She declares that no matter their role, he will always be important to her. Her words leave Haru blushing and deeply moved. Alina gets flustered by her own words, trying to clarify that they are not lovers yet, but it is a possibility. She regains her composure, reminding him of her promise to always protect him. Haru immediately asks if her promise means they can sleep together. Alina questions his rapid recovery, while Haru expresses his relief. He bids her good night, stating that he will be imposing on her from now on. He is already happily settled in bed. Sitting on the edge of the bed, Alina sighs in resignation. The next morning, Haru bursts in with a cheerful greeting. The maid remarks to Alina that she expected him to look half dead. Alina replies that a lot happened, and she learned so much about Haru. The maid misinterprets the situation and offers congratulations, leaving Alina confused. Haru excitedly surprises his master, Alina, by asking her to go on a date. Alina is taken aback by the sudden proposal. She is surprised he would think of such things during work, but realizes they have never actually gone on a date. Knowing her schedule perfectly, Haru points out that she has the afternoon free, leaving her with little room to refuse. While getting ready in her room, Alina laments that she never has any free time and that Haru can be quite persistent. As she's admiring her outfit, a maid named Belle enters, startling her. Belle feels she's walked in on something she wasn't supposed to see, as Alina reacts with flustered surprise. Belle compliments Alina's attire and asks if she is going out. Alina explains she's finally wearing some clothes she bought long ago. She tries to downplay the outing with Haru, insisting it is not a date. Belle sees right through her excuse, knowing full well it is. While walking, Alina complains that Haru is moving too fast. He apologizes, admitting his excitement about their date got the better of him. He then smoothly suggests they hold hands to avoid getting separated, a move Alina realizes he had planned all along. Haru notes that they are alone, but Alina feels holding hands is too bold. He reassures her it is just for today. Unable to refuse his earnest plea, she reluctantly agrees. He then gleefully grabs both of her hands, much to her loud protest. Haru cheerfully asks where they should go first, while Alina internally admits he is very good at winning her over. Seeing how happy he is, she tells him he can choose their destination. She immediately regrets this, fearing what an adolescent boy might suggest, and quickly declares they are going to a clothes store instead. Alina reflects that Haru caught her off guard, which is why she impulsively suggested a clothes store. Inside, she models yet another outfit, and Haru enthusiastically declares they should buy it just as he has for the past 4 outfits. Though he insists it suits her, Alina begins to think this was a bad idea. Haru offers his fashion advice, suggesting different colors and styles for Alina. His enthusiasm makes her wonder if he is simply trying to make sure she enjoys herself. Feeling touched, she offers to let him choose their next destination. She quickly realizes he is thoroughly enjoying appraising her clothes and decides against it. Meanwhile, Belle reveals she was worried and has been secretly following them on their date. She tries to justify her actions by reasoning that she is concerned for her lady and the rare human boy. However, she finds it agonizing to watch them flirt so openly. After Haru decides to buy all the clothes, he asks where to go next. He reminds Alina of her promise to let him choose, and she reluctantly agrees, warning him against anything strange. He suggests the theater, something he claims she always wanted to do. He then reveals his true desire is to have skinship in a dark room, prompting Alina to quickly change the subject. Alina asks Haru if there is a normal place he would like to go, one without any ulterior motives. He seems hurt by her suspicion. When she offers to buy him something, he declines. He states that the only thing he wants is her, leaving her utterly confused. Haru clarifies that he is happy just being with her. This makes Alina wonder if raising him as a servant caused him to suppress his own desires. Just as she worries he is holding back, Haru excitedly asks her to model a cosplay outfit for photos, proving her theory completely wrong. After the impromptu photo shoot, Alina forbids Haru from ever showing the pictures to anyone. She expresses her concern for him, advising him to spend his money on himself for a change. Haru then makes another strange request, to measure her finger, which only deepens her worry. Haru dismisses his request as a joke, but Alina retorts that she already measured his finger while he slept. He clarifies he just wanted an impression, not for a ring. He then somberly explains that he knows he cannot be with her forever. Because of this, he wanted to leave something behind as a memento. Haru continues, saying he has been trying to think of a gift that would last for centuries. Overcome with emotion, Alina tells him never to think that way, passionately declaring that she would never forget him. Her outburst leaves Haru touched and speechless. Embarrassed by her outburst, Alina mutters that everyone is watching them. She apologizes for losing her composure. Nearby, two patrons look at a magazine and remark that a woman in a photo looks just like the queen. The patrons also note that the queen is pictured with a human, a rare sight. Haru overhears and realizes the danger of a scandal appearing in the news. Just then, Belle appears at their table, surprising Alina. Belle urgently tells Haru to get Alina out before she is recognized, offering to handle the bill. Belle can see that her lady is about to panic. Haru sweeps Alina into his arms and makes a run for it. He is thrilled to live out a movie-like escape, while Alina chides his carefree attitude. Safely away, Alina asks Haru to put her down, but he refuses. She is surprised by his strength, recalling how she used to be the one to carry him when he was younger. Now held in his arms, she reflects on their day. She sighs, realizing their first date has been truly unforgettable. Back at the estate, Belle lectures Alina about the need to be more careful and avoid causing scandals. Alina apologizes for her carelessness. Haru then turns the tables, asking Belle why she was there in the first place and if she had been spying on them. Belle admits she was simply worried about them. She then reveals her jealousy, complaining that Haru and Alina have been getting too close without her. The mention of Belle following them makes Alina realize with horror that Belle must have seen her in the embarrassing cosplay outfit. Alina compliments Haru, telling him he has become fantastic at making tea. Overjoyed by her praise, Haru blushes as she gently pats his head, commending him for his diligence in learning. Haru greets his master, offering tea to help her unwind after a long day. He diligently presents her with herbal tea and desserts. He also reviews tomorrow's arrangements with her. Finally, he informs her that the dress for the society event has arrived and needs to be tried on for adjustments. While confiding in Belle, Alina expresses her concern that Haru is too perfect. Belle agrees that he is a good child who does his work diligently. Alina admits that she's been letting him take care of all her daily affairs, which makes her feel like she is gradually becoming useless. Belle's knowing silence makes Alina defensively ask what that look on her face means. Belle reassures Alina that she hasn't become useless, but that her aura has changed. She explains that Alina used to give off a more serious and cool impression. Now, however, she is different. Seeing Alina's shocked reaction, Belle quickly adds that the change is not a bad thing. Alina reflects on Belle's words, admitting to herself that she has mellowed out. She decides to try and return to her roots and become more independent. Her resolution is immediately tested when Haru appears to announce that her bath is ready. She realizes that this dependency is the very issue she needs to address. Alina tries to explain that she wants to take care of her own matters to feel more like her former self. Haru understands but confesses that he enjoys looking after her and wants to keep spoiling her. He then lovingly tells her that he loves every aspect of her master. His confession leaves Alina stunned and speechless as they lie in bed. Determined to start her challenge of being less reliant on Haru, Alina declares she will do everything herself today. Haru greets her and immediately offers to help her change. She refuses, but he insists, stating that it's his job and there is no need for her to hold back. His persistence leaves her to wonder why he is so desperate. Haru passionately argues that looking after her is the reason for his existence and questions if she intends to rob him of that. Alina stands firm, reiterating that she will do everything herself. As they argue, Belle watches from a distance, noting that something interesting seems to be happening. Belle observes the role reversal. Elena is now the one taking care of Haru, drying his hair and telling him not to catch a cold. She even offers to read him a book she found for him, to which he gratefully thanks her. Haru, however, finds this unbearable, declaring that not being able to do anything for her is torture and that he will handle everything from now on. Elena reluctantly agrees to let Haru help her change, but nothing else. As he adjusts her collar, she notices a button on his sleeve is about to fall off and points it out. Seeing an opportunity to be useful, she thinks this is her chance to show she can take care of things too. Haru protests dramatically, insisting she cannot perform such a dangerous task. Elena dismisses his worries and attempts to sew the button, but immediately pricks her finger. Seeing her in pain, Haru becomes distressed and tells her to stop, unable to bear seeing her hurt. To Elena's shock, Haru suggests that he lick her finger to make it heal. He tells her to stay quiet while she promises to be more careful in the future. He then smiles and comments that she seems like a newlywed, causing her to become even more flustered. Elena retorts that it's his fault. Haru counters that she is just too cute when she tries her best for him. He continues to shower her with compliments, which she begs him to stop. Watching from the side, Belle finds their interaction so distracting that she feels like she's going to lose it. Elena finishes sewing the button. Haru thanks her profusely, calling her work magnificent. He vows to cherish it for the rest of his life, and Elena is pleased that she could make him happy. Belle can only sigh at the sight of the dumb couple, noting that in the end, Elena is still being spoiled by him. Later that night, Elena manages to slip away from Haru. Feeling proud of her capability, she decides to take a bath by herself. However, upon entering the bathroom, she discovers there is no soap and instinctively calls out for Haru. She immediately regrets calling for him out of habit. As she soaks in the tub, she notes that it feels spacious and a bit lonely without him. She admits that he has influenced her badly, as it's normal to bathe alone. She reminisces about the past when she was the one who used to look after him and wonders when their relationship changed so drastically. Elena recalls Haru's childhood, when he would timidly apologize for his mistakes. She thinks about how he grew more confident over the years. He eventually became someone who eagerly sought her praise for every flawless job. In the present, she sits in the bath and wonders when exactly he became so intense. Returning to her room, Elena expects Haru to be asleep but finds him waiting up for her. He welcomes her back and she realizes how wrong she was. He asks where she went and she replies that she just took a bath. He is utterly shocked that she bathed all by herself. Elena asks why he is so desperate to look after her. Haru explains that it is the purpose of his existence and that he feels worthless if he is not serving her. He confesses that he has realized he has absolutely no interest in anything or anyone apart from her, which he admits is a bit of an issue. Haru asks if she is all right with him as he is now. Elena counters by asking if he would be all right with her former, more dignified self. Haru smiles, realizing this was what was bothering her. He reassures her that the master he loves has not changed one bit and that she will forever be his attractive master. Elena, flustered, asks if he's lying. Haru denies it, saying he finds her both attractive and cool. He continues his praise, calling her beautiful and bewitching, until she covers his mouth and tells him to stop. Smiling, Elena accepts his feelings, deciding that if he thinks that way, then it's fine. Seeing her serious expression, Haru is overcome with love for her. He tells her that she doesn't need to worry about anything and can leave everything to him. Elena wonders if he has won her over once again. Haru recalls that Elena was the first and only person to ever praise him, which made him decide to devote his existence to making her smile and being useful to her. He asks her not to rob him of that purpose. The scene shifts to him serving her a new flavor of tea, hoping she will like it. Elena muses that though Haru has grown up and changed, the tea he pours has always been, and will always be, the absolute best. Haru is captivated by her expression. She asks why he is staring and if there is something on her face. He almost confesses his love, but is interrupted by Belle, who scolds him for saying such things so suddenly. During a phone call, Elena's mother mentions she was looking through an old photo album, which made her want to hear her daughter's voice. The conversation starts with typical parental concerns about sleep and diet, which Elena dismisses. However, the questions suddenly become more personal when her mother asks if she has a lover. Her mother explains she was worried that Elena is too busy to have any private time. The question makes Elena instinctively think of Haru, flustering her. As her mother calls out her name, wondering if she's still there, Elena panics. She abruptly ends the call, claiming she has to work. On the other end, her parents are left confused, with her mother insisting she didn't say anything to upset her. After the call, Elena reflects on her relationship with Haru, admitting it has been vague. She feels she's been insincere and must clarify things, contemplating whether to continue as they are or end it. As she considers her true feelings for him, she has a sudden blushing realization: she really does like him. Elena wrestles with her newfound emotions, feeling that it was only recently she began to see Haru as a man. This sudden shift makes her question if her feelings are sincere or even morally right. Her internal turmoil is interrupted when Haru bursts in excitedly, wanting to show her something. Haru apologizes for the intrusion and reveals he won amusement park tickets from a lucky draw. Elena sees this as a critical moment to address their relationship. Haru, however, is simply thrilled at the chance to be alone with her on the Ferris wheel and eagerly asks her to go with him. At the amusement park, Haru is dismayed to find Belle has joined them. Belle explains she came along to prevent any strange rumors from spreading about them being alone. Undeterred, Haru ignores her and compliments Elena's outfit, much to Belle's annoyance. Elena suggests they try the teacup ride, noting it's Haru's first time at an amusement park. He admits he doesn't know much besides the Ferris wheel. Resolved to make sure he has a good time, Elena takes his arm. She becomes suspicious when he mentions that a book described this particular ride as one where people huddle close together. When Elena questions his supposed ignorance, Haru feigns innocence. He then tries to feed her a treat, which flusters her. Belle tells them not to mind her, as she's used to their antics. Haru claims he read it was common to feed each other at amusement parks, a lie Elena immediately sees through. Belle decides to leave the two alone for a while so they can talk. As she walks away, other maids observe Haru's behavior, wondering if he is maturing. It turns out he was just excited about the simple, couple-like act of waving to Elena from a distance. While on a ride, Elena wishes Haru would be interested in more than just her. When she sees him looking at a mascot, she assumes he has a childish side. He clarifies he was just thinking that wearing the costume would be a perfect excuse to flirt with her. Next, Haru suggests the haunted house. Belle finds this odd, reasoning that Haru, having grown up around demons, shouldn't be afraid of ghosts. Her suspicion is confirmed when Haru feigns fear to grab Elena's hand, promising to protect her. Haru excuses himself to get a drink, leaving Elena and Belle alone. Noticing Elena's sudden change in mood, Belle listens as Elena asks to speak with her. Elena asks for her honest opinion about her and Haru. Belle bluntly states that they look like an idiot couple, shocking Elena with her frankness. Belle's assessment leaves Elena dejected. She admits to herself that she's been avoiding the issue and has left their relationship vague for too long. With renewed determination, she decides it's finally time to face Haru properly. As Elena quietly ponders what she truly wants to be to Haru, Belle offers some advice. She tells Elena not to worry, as there's no precedent for a relationship between a demon and a human. Belle adds that she shouldn't feel forced into any specific role. Just then, Haru returns with drinks, interrupting their serious conversation. Upon Haru's return, Belle decides to take matters into her own hands. She forcefully pushes them towards the Ferris wheel, insisting they take the time to talk things through alone. Trapped in the gondola, Elena realizes they've been outmaneuvered by Belle. Now alone in the Ferris wheel car, Elena steels herself and begins to talk to Haru. She apologizes for being unclear about her feelings. She explains that he isn't the only one who has changed. She admits that over time, she slowly stopped seeing him as just a child she was raising. Elena confesses her internal struggle, revealing that she tried to limit her role to that of his guardian. Despite her best efforts, she couldn't suppress her emotions and finally admits that she really likes him. Her heartfelt confession leaves Haru momentarily speechless. She becomes flustered and apologizes for being so disorganized. Embarrassed, Elena laments her clumsy confession, but Haru has understood her perfectly. He gently asks for confirmation that she has feelings for him. Blushing, she quietly affirms that she does like him. An overjoyed Haru asks her to repeat it so he can record it, much to her exasperation. Elena gets annoyed, but Haru playfully declares victory. He then turns serious, confessing he feels the same way and that she is the center of his world. Taking her hand, he reassures her that no matter how she sees him, all he wants is her affection. He encourages her not to hold back, telling her it's all right to be greedy and want everything. Haru sincerely tells Alina that he will always be hers. Touched, she quietly accepts. He then gently slips a ring onto her finger. With their feelings now mutual, he excitedly asks if they can start dating with marriage in mind. Alina calls his thoughts scary, but Haru explains the ring is to commemorate the moment and ensure she can't escape. He then asks her to take care of him as his lover. She shyly agrees. As they leave the ride, Belle watches from a bench below while Haru vows to do his best to make her see him completely as a man. Rejoining Belle, Alina is glad things went well. However, she quickly sets some ground rules. No one can know they're dating, and any talk of marriage is forbidden for now. She explains that he's not yet an adult and shouldn't be dating seriously while still needing to take care of himself. Belle inwardly notes that Haru's future won't be easy. Back home, Haru tries to push for more intimacy now that they're alone. Alina tells him that he needs to stop calling her master. He initially panics, thinking she's pushing him away. She clarifies that since they are now properly dating, their master-servant dynamic has to change. Alina suggests that when they are alone, he should call her by her name. The idea makes Haru incredibly happy. She reminds him this is only for when they're alone, which he eagerly accepts. He then shyly tries it out, calling her Alina-sama. The formal address feels a bit weird to her, and she denies being embarrassed when he asks. Haru notices something is amiss with Alina, who seems troubled. Alina explains she's worried about rumors spreading among the maids. He points out that she isn't wearing the ring he gave her. Haru, flustered, admits he actually wanted her to wear it to show everyone that she is his. When Haru asks where the ring is, Alina tells him it's in her study desk. He immediately worries that she despises it. She quickly denies this, and Haru apologizes for being too sudden. Blushing, Alina confesses that she keeps it there so she can secretly admire it while she works. Overwhelmed by her cute confession, Haru exclaims loudly, much to Alina's embarrassment. She tries to quiet him, worried they'll be heard. Unable to contain his affection, Haru asks for a hug, but their private moment is suddenly interrupted by two maids appearing at the door. The maids announce they have a package, catching the pair at an awkward moment. A flustered Alina tells them to just leave it, while Haru quickly excuses himself. After they leave, the two maids comment to each other, revealing they knew exactly what was going on and find it amusing to watch them. As morning light fills the room, Alina watches over a sleeping Haru. She gently tries to rouse him, telling him it's time to wake up. Looking at his peaceful face, she blushes as she reminds herself that they are now officially lovers. When Haru finally stirs, Alina becomes flustered, unsure how to act around him now. Her awkward good morning makes Haru wonder if something is wrong. Before she can respond, he pulls her into a sudden embrace from behind, telling her she's as cute as always and that he doesn't mind her embarrassment at all. Alina protests, but Haru explains that he needs these moments to charge his energy for the day. 10 minutes pass and he's still holding on. He cheekily suggests that a special service from her would speed things up, causing Alina to scold him for his lack of self-control. Now dressed for the day, Alina lays down the rules for maintaining professionalism at work. She instructs him not to be clingy, speak carelessly, or call her by name during work. Despite having heard this lecture multiple times, Haru asks for one last recharge. She reluctantly agrees, despairing that this will never end as he pulls her into another hug. A maid arrives with documents for the day's meeting. Internally, Alina muses that Haru must have been holding back, so she should accept his affection. Her happy expression is noticed by another maid, who points out that her grin is showing, startling Alina. A maid named Belle warns Alina that her expressions will give their secret away. Alina vows to keep herself under control, but her maids worry she'll be found out. Just then, Haru enters the room with a cheerful greeting, putting her on the spot. Trying to regain her composure, a blushing Alina dismisses her maid. Her attempt at professionalism is immediately tested when Haru approaches to discuss the day's schedule. He stands uncomfortably close while speaking about the meeting, rattling her further. Haru notices Alina's unease and asks if something is wrong. While discussing a document, he almost slips up and calls her by her first name before loudly correcting himself to master. Their stilted and overly formal interaction is so awkward that their maids can't help but comment on it from the sidelines. Belle intervenes, telling them they're trying too hard and should act more naturally to avoid suspicion. Alina admits she feels too self-conscious to act normally. The maids conclude that while Alina is bad at keeping secrets, Haru is completely unsubtle. Haru continues to fantasize about secret affections, but his maid asks if that's enough for him. He admits that being near Elena without being able to touch her is torture. Elena tries to placate him by promising he can do as he likes when they're alone later, urging him to focus on work for now. Inspired by Elena's promise, Haru snaps to attention and zealously declares his dedication to his duties. As he marches off, a bewildered Elena yells after him, reminding him of his promise not to act weird, while her maid looks on with concern. Later, while working, Elena considers her next task. Haru approaches her with perfect professionalism. She is taken aback by his complete shift in behavior, a stark contrast to his tantrum from earlier. Elena tries to focus on her work. She glances at Haru, who gives her a calm, professional smile. Ironically, his sudden lack of teasing only makes her feel more uneasy and flustered. Though she was the one who set the boundaries, Elena finds herself missing Haru's touch. She instinctively reaches for his hand. When a confused Haru asks what's wrong, she is unable to respond. She snaps that it's all his fault, leaving him baffled. That evening, Elena reflects that she was surprisingly composed and feels confident they can keep their relationship a secret. Haru agrees she acted mature, but admits it was tough for him. He then reveals with a smile that he's discovered a new joy in the act of holding back, a sentiment that Elena finds plain scary. Deciding to continue this new approach, Haru resolves to do so from now on. He pulls Elena into an embrace, explaining that he realized holding back makes their moments together even more enjoyable. He holds her close, thinking about how small and cute she is. A surprised Elena questions his sudden affection. Haru is surprised that Elena isn't resisting his hug. She clarifies that she has no reason to, since he's just keeping her company. She warns him that she will get mad if he tries anything weird. Held tightly in his arms, Elena finds it hard to believe that they have truly become lovers. The next day, Elena again reminds Haru to be professional. He agrees enthusiastically, explaining that the self-control makes their eventual intimacy more rewarding. He then slyly points out they haven't had their morning recharge. He implies he won't be able to contain himself at work without it, and Elena realizes he's found a new, clever way to threaten her. Giving in, Elena initiates a hug. After their recharge, she asks if he's satisfied, and he cheerfully agrees they're ready for the day. From a distance, the maids watch them. They remark on how incredibly obvious their relationship has become. On a slow afternoon, Haru notes that Elena looks sleepy. Just as she's relaxing, a maid bursts in, calling for Elena and announcing that something important has come up. Startled and flustered, Elena quickly gets up, insisting this isn't a regular occurrence. The maid explains that an unexpected visitor has specifically requested to see Elena. As they walk down the hall, Elena is surprised to see a familiar face greet her. The visitor, Meifa, casually says it's been a while, Elena. A maid quickly covers Haru's mouth, apologizing for his ignorance. She explains to Haru that the visitor is Meifa, the demon queen who rules the eastern continent. Elena clarifies that Meifa is an old acquaintance who is in the area on business. Haru is taken aback, wondering if keeping humans as pets has become a trend. Meifa asks the other servants to leave for a bit. She insists, stating there are things she can't discuss with them around. However, she makes an exception for Haru and the maid, saying she wants to hear about Elena. Meifa's intense gaze makes Haru feel uneasy. Haru senses a bad atmosphere, wondering about Meifa's intentions toward Elena. The tension breaks as Meifa suddenly embraces Elena, joyfully exclaiming how much she missed her big sis. The sudden turn of events leaves Haru completely shocked. Meifa is overjoyed to finally see her big sis again. She complains that being a demon queen is nothing but a pain, filled with paperwork, unlike what she imagined when she looked up to Elena. She continues to cling to Elena, saying she's been too busy to visit and doesn't want to go back. Seeing this, a jealous Haru snaps, yelling at Meifa not to touch his master. Meifa asks who this person is, and Elena explains that she adopted Haru and he now works for her as a servant. Elena formally introduces Haru to her childhood friend, Meifa. A rivalry immediately sparks as Haru realizes there's a childhood friend he never knew, while Meifa is shocked Elena adopted a human. A nearby maid observes their instant animosity, thinking they clash because they're so similar. Meifa begins the competition by boasting about her childhood sleepovers with her big sis. Haru smugly counters that he sleeps with his master every day. Flustered, Meifa escalates by revealing she's bathed with Elena and knows her weak spots. Haru shockingly claims to have even licked Alina while she was asleep. Alina is horrified by Haru's claim and fearfully demands to know what he's been doing while she's asleep. Meifa declares that she won't hand her big sis over to a mere human. Haru retorts that Alina was never hers to begin with and asserts his own deep adoration for his master. Caught in the middle, Alina tries to stop their bickering. Meifa boasts that she knows Alina is weak to tickling, causing an injury in the bath once. Haru has a sudden realization, understanding now why Alina hates massages so vehemently. Alina tries to defend her relationship with Haru, but her explanation only adds fuel to the fire. Finally, having had enough of their bickering, Alina's shout echoes from the castle. Alina scolds them both for fighting and tells them not to get her involved. Haru and Meifa apologize. Meifa blames Haru, saying he was the one who picked a fight. She questions why a mere servant is acting so familiar with Alina. In response, a determined Alina grabs Haru's arm and declares that they are dating. Meifa is stunned by the revelation, asking if Alina is serious about dating a human. Alina confirms that both she and Haru are serious about their relationship. The news leaves Meifa shocked and speechless. Alina explains that she wanted Meifa to know, as Meifa looks on with tears in her eyes. Heartbroken, Meifa calls Alina an idiot and runs off. The maid notes that Meifa has gone and suggests Alina find her before she gets lost. Alina is surprised when Haru offers to find Meifa despite their fight. He agrees, smugly stating it's his duty as her lover. A few minutes later, Haru finds Meifa sitting alone in the garden. Meifa asks if he came to laugh at her, but Haru explains he came because Alina would be upset otherwise. She opens up, confessing she's always admired Alina and worked hard to be a strong, cool demon queen like her. She admits that since Alina met Haru she has changed, and Meifa didn't know why. Meifa sadly admits that seeing this new side of Alina makes her feel lonely, as if she's not the same person. Haru listens silently to her confession. Unsure how to react, Haru remembers how Alina comforts him. He decides to do the same, gently patting Meifa on the head. Flustered by the gesture, Meifa questions what he is doing. She tells Haru not to treat her like a child, reminding him that she has lived much longer than him. She confronts him with the harsh reality that as a human, he won't be able to stay with Alina for her entire life. She asks if he's considered that his relationship might just cause Alina to suffer in the long run. Haru calmly acknowledges her point, which seems to frustrate Meifa. He admits that, truthfully, he won't be able to live that long. However, he expresses his belief that Alina's world isn't limited to him and that she will have others to support her after he is gone. He then tells Meifa that she, too, is one of those important people. When Meifa says she can't understand him, Haru remarks that his master says the same thing. He explains that Alina is so cute, he couldn't control himself and had to be with her. He gushes about how her appearance and straightforward personality are just too cute, declaring anyone would fall for her. Listening to his passionate rant, Meifa finds herself wholeheartedly agreeing, and the two rivals finally find common ground. Haru reflects on his short lifespan, knowing that the time they spend together will be a mere moment for Alina. He confesses that his desire is to leave a small but meaningful mark on her long life. He internally apologizes to Alina for his selfishness. Alina arrives, relieved to have found them, and Meifa runs to greet her. She's surprised to see Haru was with Meifa, and they explain they were just talking. Seeing them getting along so well, she asks what they were discussing. Haru's cheerful reply that they were talking about her cuteness only makes Alina more concerned. Meifa announces she'll be leaving soon as she has things to do back in her own country. She asks if she can visit again, and Alina happily agrees. Alina tells her it's a given because Meifa is her precious little sister. This tender moment makes Meifa realize that this side of her sister isn't so bad either. As Meifa departs, she waves goodbye to Alina and Belle. She also says goodbye to Haru, though he can feel her lingering ill will. The maids comment on Meifa's free-spirited nature. Alina tells Haru to try and get along with her next time, and he replies that they've already had a soul-to-soul exchange. His cryptic answer about what they discussed leaves Alina flustered. The very next day, Haru is thinking about Meifa's departure. He's surprised to see her back already, thinking it's too soon. Meifa declares to Haru that she still hasn't approved of him. She states that if he won't give up on her big sis, then she won't either. She challenges him to do his best, vowing to do everything in her power to stop him. Observing their interaction, Alina's maid remarks that they seem to be getting along well. Haru brings Elena a stack of documents she requested. After she tells him where to put them, he asks for his next task with a strange grin. Elena senses something is off about him, wondering why he's acting so differently. A maid enters the room looking for Haru. Noticing his strange behavior, she asks him to follow her. He suddenly staggers and collapses onto the desk, breathing heavily. Both Elena and the maid are shocked. The maid examines Haru and concludes he just has a cold. She tells a worried Elena that it's not serious. She suggests it's likely caused by overwork and that a few days of rest will be enough. Despite the reassurance, Elena is overcome with guilt, blaming herself for not noticing sooner. Elena spirals into a panic, berating herself for failing to notice Haru's condition. Her maid calmly observes that Elena has always overreacted when Haru gets sick. After being told to calm down, Elena makes a grim declaration, vowing she is prepared to die if anything happens to him. Standing by Haru's bedside, Elena declares her intention to devote her entire being to his care. Elena tells him to ask for anything he wants. She adds the small caveat that it not be unreasonable. He immediately ignores her request, asking her to warm him up with her skin, leaving her flustered. Haru hesitates, recalling Elena's incompetence with chores. He reconsiders, thinking that seeing a clumsy Elena might not be so bad. His prolonged silence makes Elena think he doesn't want her help. Fearing he's hurt her feelings, Haru quickly and enthusiastically agrees to be pampered. Haru makes a specific request. He wants the porridge Elena used to make for him when he was sick. Touched by the memory, Elena eagerly accepts the task, determined to do her best. She rushes off, asking for basic cooking instructions, which doesn't exactly fill Haru with confidence. Looking exhausted, Elena returns with the finished porridge. Haru cheekily asks if she's going to feed him, but she dismisses the idea. Haru feigns disappointment, lamenting that being an adult means he can't be fully pampered as promised. Giving in, Elena brings a spoonful of porridge to Haru's lips. He continues to tease her, asking her to say "ah" for him. Blushing, she complies. A very satisfied Haru praises her efforts while she mutters a warning for him to remember this later. After Haru finishes his meal, he thanks her. Elena prepares to take his temperature. He cheekily suggests she could check it with a kiss on the forehead instead. Elena, taking him literally, dismisses the idea as inaccurate due to their different species' body temperatures. After reading the thermometer, Elena confirms Haru has a high fever. She tells him to sleep, but he protests. He wants her to continue looking after him. Elena ignores his pleas and firmly insists he get some rest. Haru asks Elena to stay and hold his hand until he falls asleep. She obliges, holding his hand. He drifts off with a contented smile. As she watches him, Elena reflects on how cute his honest requests are. After Haru falls asleep, Elena watches over him. She leans in close to check his breathing, feeling relieved that he's okay. Her overly cautious behavior is noted by an unseen observer. Elena sits by Haru's bedside, wrestling with her emotions. She admits to herself that she is truly scared of losing him. As she watches him sleep, painful, forgotten memories resurface. She utters the word "mother." A flashback reveals the moment Elena first met Haru, finding him orphaned. She offered him a place by her side, promising that while she couldn't replace his parents, she could stay with him. She reached out her hand to him. She declared that she would be his lover from that day forward. Haru wakes up feeling a strange warmth. He discovers Elena has fallen asleep at his bedside. He sits up, watching her sleep. He thinks to himself how cute she is. Elena wakes with a start. Haru apologizes for dozing off, but she reassures him it's fine. When she asks how he's feeling, he cheerfully declares he's much better. He attributes his recovery to her warming him up with her body, which leaves Elena blushing and flustered. A few days later, Haru is fully recovered. He triumphantly announces his complete revival. His maid is pleased to see him well, and Haru credits Elena's care. Her attention quickly shifts to Elena, who now looks pale. The maid suspects that Elena has caught Haru's cold. As Elena heads to her room to rest, her maid correctly guesses they were flirting during Haru's recovery. Eager to return the favor, Haru offers to take care of Elena this time. However, Elena vehemently refuses his help, insisting she's perfectly fine on her own. Elena feels dejected, believing she failed as Haru's master and lover by being unable to cook for him properly while he was sick. As she sulks, the door opens and a cheerful girl greets her as Big Sis. Seeing Alina's gloomy state, she correctly guesses that she is not doing well. The girl, Meifa, learns that Haru had fallen ill. Alina explains that caring for him made her realize how lacking she is in basic life skills. Meifa bluntly asks if she hadn't realized that long ago, causing Alina to flinch. Despite the teasing, Alina finds new resolve, declaring that for Haru's sake, she wants to learn how to do chores. Alina asks one of her maids to teach her chores. The maid is surprised and suggests leaving such tasks to Haru, her servant. Alina dismisses this, explaining that since they plan to get married, their statuses won't matter, and she wants to see him as an equal. The maid is taken aback by how naturally Alina discusses marriage. The maid suggests a one-day experience as a maid. Alina agrees to be in her care. Suddenly, Meifa jumps in, excitedly asking to join the fun. She cheerfully admits that she is also completely incompetent, which the maid notes is not something someone planning to work would say. Now dressed in maid outfits, Meifa excitedly asks if the suit looks good on her, and the head maid agrees it looks wonderful. Alina, however, seems embarrassed by the attire. The head maid recalls that Meifa also needed help getting changed. Haru arrives, summoned by the maid Belle. He is stunned to see Alina and Meifa in their maid outfits. Alina calls out his name, flustered, while trying to explain the situation. Overcome with emotion, Haru declares that he is glad to be alive. Haru grabs Alina's hands, thanking her profusely and thinking she's fulfilling a past request. Alina frantically tries to tell him he's misunderstanding. When he asks about the outfit, she panics and claims it's just a hobby. Belle quickly steps in, telling Haru she has some errands for him at a shop far away, successfully getting him out of the room. With Haru gone, Belle begins the lesson, starting with cleaning. She warns them to be careful with the old items in the castle, as their condition depends on their maintenance. As she speaks, a loud clatter is heard. Meifa has already broken something and apologizes profusely. Belle explains that Meifa is clumsy because she can't control her strength and tends to destroy everything she touches. Alina tells Meifa she must overcome this challenge. She confidently begins sweeping, only to immediately smack her head on a pillar. Belle cries out in dismay. Realizing it would be a disaster to let them continue, Belle decides to handle the cleaning herself and moves on to the laundry. She explains that laundry is a tedious job and gives them the simple task of hanging sheets to dry. She instructs them to stretch out the wrinkles and be careful not to let them get blown away. As they hang the endless line of sheets, Alina comments on the sheer amount of laundry. Alina reflects on how many people work hard to serve her, resolving to put in her own effort. Just then, Meifa points out that one of the sheets is flying away, causing Alina to shout in frustration. Alina apologizes, feeling down after having been nothing but trouble. Belle consoles her, explaining that no one is proficient at everything from the start. She reveals that even she was quite useless when she was first hired. Alina is surprised to hear this, asking if that's really true. Belle recalls her early days. A young Alina had asked her to pour some tea. Terrified of being fired if she refused, the nervous young Belle tried to comply. Her shaking hands caused her to trip. She fell and shattered the dishes. In the memory, Belle frantically apologizes, but young Alina rushes to her side. She grabbed her hand and asked if she was okay. Back in the present, Belle smiles, remembering how happy she was that someone cared for her, which motivated her to do her best. She tells Alina she was just thinking that she and Haru might be more similar than she expected. To finish the day, Belle suggests they practice cooking, promising to be with Alina every step of the way. Seeing her try so hard reminds Belle of her past self. As Alina grips a knife, Belle warns her to be careful not to cut herself. However, Alina seems to be struggling, brandishing the knife wildly. Belle quickly grabs Alina's hand, telling her she's holding the knife too high. She tells her that her technique needs improvement. Meanwhile, Meifa proudly stands over a burning pot, asking if the amount of heat is fine. Belle is exasperated, thinking that their combined incompetency has far exceeded her expectations. Belle instructs Alina to shape her hand like a cat's paw when cutting. Alina dismisses the warning, stating that her healing factor is strong enough to regenerate a lost finger. Belle muses that because Alina's body is so tough, she can afford to be careless. At that moment, Alina stabs her own hand. Finally, the dish is done, though Alina admits it doesn't look very good. She wonders if Haru will be happy. Belle reassures her, saying she possesses the most important thing for cooking. When Alina asks what it is, Belle offers a clue, asking what she thinks the secret ingredient for the best dishes is. Alina nervously guesses her own blood, but Belle corrects her, saying the secret ingredient is love. Manhwa chimes in, explaining it's a spell to make food tasty. She says all you need to do is think of the person you like. With Haru in mind, Alina blushes and forms a heart with her hands, chanting for the food to become tasty. Belle thinks to herself how much Haru would love it if she did that in front of him. With the meal complete, Alina feels proud of her work. She thanks Belle, feeling that she has grown. Manhwa asks why she was so interested in chores to begin with. Blushing, Alina explains her insecurity. As a couple, she's afraid Haru might prefer someone who is better at housework than she is. Manhwa and Belle find her worried expression adorable. Alina gets flustered, exclaiming that she's troubled by their reactions. Belle reassures her that Haru would never think that way. Alina finally admits that they are the ones causing her to worry. Haru returns from his errand, and Alina excitedly greets him. She presents the dish she made, much to his surprise. She asks him to judge the food fairly, not as her lover or master. Haru says that everything she makes is tasty. Alina insists that's exactly why she wants his honest opinion, as she wants to be able to do things for him. Haru thinks about how cute she is and admits he loves her. Remembering Belle's advice to do it in front of him, Alina prepares herself. She forms a heart with her hands and casts the spell to make the food tasty. Haru is left completely shocked by her actions. Still reeling, Haru thanks Belle, though he's unsure what just happened, leaving Alina confused as to why he's thanking the maid. In a dimly lit